We're here
Yeah.
at Church of the City in Spring Hill, Tennessee with J.R. Benton. J.R., what is your official title here?
Yeah. So my official title is director of production, but that also encompasses pretty much everything to do with the live service experience. So worship and production.
Okay, so you're the unicorn production director that you're actually over worship here also, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so much power in your hands.
It's a lot to steward, but it's great. We're right now in between worship pastors, so we still have a worship coordinator who's doing a great and fantastic job on that. But so really, it's kind of just a great blend. I grew up playing guitar in worship bands before I ever even got into production or creative elements, and so honestly, it's kind of like a fulfillment of that, kind of a marriage of both of those, and so it feels like a combining of the superpowers whenever we meet. And
Yeah. So, I think it's become more of a norm these days, but worship and production, we often say these two things separately,
Mm.
but church is realizing that, whether they're different departments, like they're still one ministry together.
Mm.
So, how do you guys approach that? Is it two different ministries or are you guys one team?
Yeah. So, I mean, in all reality, there are two teams, right? Like two halves to try to make up the one. We try to act and operate as one global entity as much as possible. So, what that would look like is, the worship team still has our worship coordinator who handles and communicates with all of them. I communicate with her, and then I handle my production team. But on a Sunday, we've tried to break down those walls to where, after a rehearsal in the morning, every Sunday morning, we do what we call a 7:45 production and prayer meeting. So basically, after we're done rehearsing up here, we come down to the chairs and we will actually, I'll lead us through, kind of produce and talk through transitions, anything to take note of before we then do a full run through. And then after that stuff's out of the way, kind of get to the meat of it and we take communion together. I'll lead us through in a devotional. And honestly, we'll just kind of pray for each other. And it's been a great commingling of the two teams where you've got a guitar player, praying for a camera op and vice versa. And yeah, it's just been really powerful.
So, if you do that at 7:45, what time does first service start?
Yeah, so first service is at 9 and then second at 11. So
So, do you do 7:45 and then do rehearsal after that?
no, no. So we have no midweek rehearsals during the week, which is kind of a blessing not to have another night out. But that in turn then hikes up your call time for Sunday. So Sunday 6:30 call time for band and production. My audio guys get here a little bit earlier than that, just to help prep the stage, patch anything if needed. 6:45 downbeat, and so then we rehearse up until 7:45, and then we do 7:45 to about 8:25. We have another meeting in the lobby, which is sort of all of the ministry departments for a given Sunday. This is city students, our kids ministry, next steps, guest services, production, worship, all of us, teaching pastor for the day, host, basically everybody, just a giant team huddle where one, we get to celebrate a team member of the week. So any volunteer who has just been crushing it for the kingdom that week that we just want to celebrate and honor in front of everyone. We share
Do
some
they get
kind
the game
words.
ball?
No, they do get a gift. It's like a Church of the City coffee mug, which
Okay.
is, people collect them. And so, yeah, anyway, that's really kind of our culture here,
Yeah.
just honoring people and loving them.
So what happens if line check isn't done at 7:45? Like something's still not working, fires are still waiting to be put out.
Yeah.
Are you going to push off that time of prayer and communion?
Thankfully, we have not, fingers crossed, had to do that yet. But
I don't have any wood to knock on.
there have been times actually, and this is something a logistical thing that we're trying to work through right now is actually the prayer time taking longer to where then we don't do our full run through and we're out in the lobby by 8:25. Which is just, hey, we're just spending all our time in prayer and it's great.
Yeah.
But we still want to be good stewards of time and respectful of everyone else involved. So yeah, it's kind of funny. It's been sort of almost the opposite way of that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you guys communicate as production and worship as far as, do you tell your production team, we are also worship leaders, or, we're here to support the worship team? How does the worship team talk about production? How do you keep it as, we're all part of the same team, even though we're different departments?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, one, I think a lot of that is resolved through just the relational equity that's built on a Sunday morning. Like, So in our green room, we provide breakfast for worship and production. And it's kind of a big priority on my heart to encourage my team to continue to go in there because oftentimes green rooms can just default to just be the band. But I'm like, guys, get in there, go get breakfast, go mingle and go whatever, just to, again, try to breed that one sort of culture. And really, I mean, if anyone joins our team, honestly, it's just an excuse or an opportunity for us to then disciple them and walk alongside them with whatever they're going through in life. So really, I mean, even like screen graphics, lyrics operators, I'm like, guys, you are just as much of a worship leader as whoever's leading us vocally in worship. I mean, there's something to be said for the lyrics and proclamation of scripture displayed on screen for people to join in unity together that, man, just something happens whenever that happens. And so that's why like timing is important, for presenter lyrics. I mean, that's sort of the ever present struggle, but yeah, so that's kind of top of mind that I'm coaching our team on. You guys are worship leaders, a part of this.
Yeah. And if you think about it, the lyrics timed it right on screen and the lyrics sung properly on stage are like, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
That you're trying not to distract the worshipers out here. They're engaging in a moment with their God, their creator. And either one of those things is going to like snap them out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So realizing you're both doing the same thing. We're working together and one is not more important than the other. Like, you both need each other. Are you constantly reinforcing that on both teams?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even for the message, I mean, as well, a lot of times it feels like production, once you get to the message, you can almost check out, like sit back for a little bit, like, all right, we can breathe for a little bit. Honestly, we try to kind of go against that a little bit and try to ramp it up even because, the combination of the content that the pastor wants to preach and deliver that he feels that the Lord has given him to deliver to the body. We have a great partnership that we can come alongside him with that, with our timing, hitting stuff right. It's almost like a comedian in the punchline, right? Like if he's trying to toss to an image that's funny, but we're late to the punch, it kind of loses all the momentum. And vice versa, if we go too early, so there's just a lot of strategy and learning with that and everything. But I just love that idea of we're not just pressing buttons, we're not just doing the job, we're actually partnering together with the pastor, the worship team, everyone. And so even as far as like, we are pretty, I wouldn't say highly produced or super structured or locked in. We basically draw the lines of the sandbox and say, all right, we've got 25 minutes of worship. These are the 4 songs on deck. You know what? We might have a couple of tags or bridges. So I'll just actually drop those into ProPresenter at the very bottom, just under options. So that way our operators can just go grab them if needed, if the band just kind of spontaneously goes into something.
And if there is friction between production and worship, say, the guitarist amp, you guys might not have amps on stage, but let's use that as an example. The guitarist amp is too loud and production's like, you need to turn your amp down. And the guitarist is like, I don't want to. That's the tube saturation.
Yeah.
We all know what that's like. Do you have basically like house rules about how you communicate either not on Sunday or during warm-ups to make sure that the tension doesn't explode?
Yeah. I think honestly, within our culture, we are fortunate and blessed to where that hasn't really been an issue. But typically, if anything comes up like that, either my front house A1, who's mixing for that day, would handle that, who is someone who has high trust, high leadership, high capacity volunteer, who has, shown themselves, or either myself would step in to just try to navigate that tricky water of, and especially with the guitar player mindset, or even like our front of house guy. He produces and mixes and teaches at Dark Horse Studios. And so he's just as much involved in the music side, production, producing, post-mixing, as well as the live production. So just being able to even be bilingual across the different worlds of going, hey guys, like I love what that's doing. That's really great. But out here, it's not really translating properly with everything else in the room. So just learning how to navigate those strategically, I think goes a long way.
And you help your band and your singers navigate the fact that these guys in production also know what they're talking about. You're here in the Nashville area, so you literally have world-class producers sitting out there giving hopefully thoughtful advice and feedback to the musicians here on stage. Do you help coach them to be like, listen to your production people. They're trying to help you get across your musical ideas so it'll actually land out here.
Yes, 100%. And again, I think it just goes to the team dynamic that, the feedback, one, we always want to honor the person, but also be honest. We don't want to shy away from the truth, but we also don't want to just like overhandedly deliver it harshly in a harsh way that's going to burn that relationship or whatever. We always want to be creative in how we handle that. Yeah, so which I think just goes to that time and relational equity that we've built up, and the understanding of, hey, we're hanging out in the green room and we might have a random conversation of some guy, oh, I mixed, so and so's album this weekend. Oh, that's really cool. And so you just get these sort of little bites of almost credibility, and then the relational equity on top of that to go, you know what, we do know what we're talking about, and we're gonna respect and listen and take everyone's feedback.
Yeah. So some really simple takeaways is, there are different disciplines. One thing is happening on stage, one thing is happening out in the room, behind the booth, in the production suite, but you're aiming for the same product, the same result. And so as you're doing your different discipline, like JR's doing here at Church of the City, at a certain time, the disciplines stop and you come together as one team. You pray together, you have communion together, you hang out in the green room together, you're one community. And then you're even going beyond that. After that point, you're going out in the lobby with all of your ministries and you're saying we are all one team.
Yeah.
And so just breaking down those divisions of stopping the discipline at some point, coming together as one team, one community, and just pouring into that. And while you might be two different disciplines, maybe technically two different teams, you're all part of the same ministry.
Yeah,
so really pouring into that idea of coming together in worship and production.
Yeah, really. And I mean, even to speak to, our audio guys on my team, we have an earlier call time than the band does. And really, this is something that I will just champion till the end of that. In production ministry, we are going to serve first. We're not going to wait to be served. We are going to be proactive in that. So, and even just if you guys are, dealing with different relational things between band and production, honestly, a great way to diffuse a lot of that is if you guys can take the brunt. And honestly, like this is why we show up early. We ensure, mic stands are out, pedal boards are out, wireless packs are charged up, batteries are out, just so that way the band and the team, they can come in and feel loved, supported, and taken care of, honestly. And that buys you a lot of chips in the trust area to then, whenever you do have to go into those moments of feedback of, hey man, I love what you're doing here, love the tone, but it's not quite fitting.
Yeah.
That goes over so much more smoothly because you've built up that trust and that sort of relational equity. And we, as production, we can lead the way in service and creating that culture of serving one another.
Yeah. And I mean, similar idea for musicians and singers to come prepared.
Yeah.
You have rehearsed at home. You have worked out the sounds on your pedal board so that you're not holding up rehearsal by getting your delay right.
Yeah.
That you're prepared. So yeah, I love those ideas. We're both bringing our full selves, our full preparedness to serve one another in that.
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video. We know how difficult it is to keep Sundays running at your church, and we know a lot of it is about the gear. So we want to give you an exclusive 5% additional off anything, even if we're running a sale. Additional 5% off, grab the code in the video description below.